Good morning, dear students. I am Professor Basavaraj Kovache. Welcome you all for today's lecture. Module number 2, video number 2. We are discussing the demand and law of demand. In previous class, we saw the meaning of demand, which means desire backed up by ability and willingness to pay. If all the three things are there, desire, willingness and ability to pay, then only it is said to be demand. After that, we saw the law of demand. Law of demand states that other things being equal, rising price leads to fall in demand, and fall in price leads to rising demand. So the relationship between law of demand is universal. That is, price and demand is universal or opposite. If the prices increase, demand will fall, and if the prices fall, demand will increase. So the law of demand states that amount demanded increases with a fall in price and diminishes when the price rises or price increases. So this is a law of demand. A 2 marks question may come. What do you mean by law of demand? Or the question may come for 5 marks or 10 marks as well, wherein they will ask you to explain the law of demand. At that point of time, if the question is for 2 marks, we will write only the law of demand. If it is for 5 marks, write law of demand, demand schedule and demand curve. So the further things we will see. Now we have to see the characteristics of law of demand. What does this law of demand has? Certain set of characteristics. In that, first one, there is inverse relationship between price of commodity and its demand. As we discussed, there is an opposite relationship between price and demand. If the prices increase, demand will fall, and if the prices fall, the demand will increase. So that is what there is an inverse or opposite relationship between the price and demand for a commodity. After that, price is independent variable. Price is an independent variable which we cannot control. The prices change according to the market conditions and the various other factors, because of which the price is an independent variable. The price cannot be controlled by an individual, but it is a market process. Therefore, the price is independent variable. The third characteristic is demand is dependent variable on price of goods. Many a times, demand is dependent on the prices. For example, if we see, if the prices of onion are increasing, we try to reduce the usage of onion. We try to use very little, and if the prices are less, we use it more. Likewise, there are various other products. As and when the prices increase, we reduce the consumption of that, and as and when the prices decrease, we increase the consumption of the prices of that commodity. So therefore, demand is dependent variable on price of goods. If the prices increase, the demand will decrease, and if the prices decrease, the demand will increase. So these are the characteristics of law of demand. Now we shall see the demand schedule. As the law we have discussed here, as and when the prices are increasing, the demand is falling, and as and when the prices are, say, falling, the demand is being increased. In this demand schedule, we can see as the prices of orange are increasing, the demand or quantity of orange demanded at specific price decreases. We can see here in one column we have put the prices of the orange, and another column we have added the demand of orange. In first situation, when the price of orange was 10 rupees, the demand for orange was 5 dozen. Now here, as the demand falls, when the price decreased from 10 to 8, the demand increased from 5 to 6, that is 6 dozen sale of orange was there. After that, again the prices decreased from 8 to 6. At that point of time, the prices of demand for orange was 8 dozens, and when again the prices fall down from 6 to 5 rupees, at that point of time the quantity of orange demanded increased from 8 to 10 dozen. So in this schedule we can see that the relationship between the demand and price are opposite or inverse, which means the prices, as and when the prices are high, the demand is decreasing, and as and when the prices are, say, as and when the prices are decreasing, the demand is increasing. When the price of orange was 10 rupees, 5 dozen was the sale. As again, when the price decreased to 8 rupees, then the demand was increased by 1, that is 6 dozen. When the price decreased again to 6, the demand was 8 dozen, and when the price was 5 rupees, the demand was 10 dozen. So this is how the price and demand have opposite relationship. Now the same demand schedule we will plot on, say, demand curve. As and when this demand curve will be, say, we plot, at that point of time we can identify or we can see that the prices are being plotted here, that is on y-axis prices of orange and x-axis quantity demanded for orange. So the demand curve what we had seen, if we plot the same demand curve or the same demand schedule, if we plot on, say, a graph, it will be a demand curve. Here we can see when the prices were 10 rupees, the demand for orange was 2 dozen. As the prices decreased, that is from 10 to 8, then the demand was, say, 5 dozen. And as again the prices decreased from 8 to 6, the demand was 8 dozen. And the prices again increased from 6 to 5. At that point of time, the demand was 10 dozen. So here the D and D, this DD red color line is an demand curve. And here we can see the step by step increase in price when there was a decrease in price. Simultaneously, as and when the price decreased, the quantity demanded was increasing. So this shows us that the relationship between demand and price are inverse or opposite, and here we should see, as per the price change, the demand is also changing continuously. So this is the demand curve. The 2 marks question may come, what do you mean by demand curve? Demand curve means the graphical representation of demand schedule is known as demand curve. Okay, so graphical presentation or representation of law of demand is known as demand curve. And demand schedule means the representation of law of demand in figures is known as demand schedule. So these two things If the question comes for 5 marks, you should write the law of demand, then demand schedule and demand curve. So here, for today's class, we shall stop here. The rest part of the factors or the exceptions to law of demand and other things we shall see in tomorrow's class. If you all have any doubts and questions, you can feel free to contact me at any point of time. Thank you. Good day.